Got a 2008 Land Rover LR3 on the lift today. I'm doing some transmission work. I just wanted to share a tip real quick. Basically what's happening is you get in, start the car, it will not come out of park. Now if you get in and turn the ignition to the on position, not starting it, just to the on position, and then put it in neutral, you can start it in neutral and then you can cycle through reverse neutral drive down to low and drive it around fine. It might go into limp mode, so it'll be restricted on speed, but at least you can get out from wherever you're stuck. So it's looking like one of the solenoids is fried, the park solenoid. So I've got a new solenoid pack, a new pan and filter kit, and some fluid from Atlantic British. Now, none of the shops in town wanted to touch this thing. I think part of the reason is because it's actually quite a bit of work to do this job just for a pan and filter, essentially. Once you pull the pan off, all the solenoids are right there. It's easy to get to, but this is where all the work is. The book is going to tell you, you've got to disconnect drive shaft or exhaust or something and undo the motor or transmission mounts and raise the engine and do all that stuff. That's really not necessary. I just had my $5 fix, my special wrench that I made. This is just a Torx driver that I welded in a 1/4-inch wrench. So this is very low profile. The reason you need that is because these fasteners, this is the front of the transmission, are directly above this cross member. Okay, so you can't stick your driver and ratchet and extension through the cross member to get there. And the same thing is here on the back. This is the rear cross member. And you've got a bunch of bolts here. You see the pan is already separated. I've already got pretty much all the bolts out. But you just can't stick your tool through the cross member. So I just get this guy in there and turn those bolts. Easy peasy. Just takes a few minutes. Same thing up here. Reaches in here real easy. I can get to that bolt. And then, well, 2 hands to keep it steady, but just turn it and back it out. So that's super easy. And like I said, this is just going to cost you a few bucks. And then you don't have to take it all apart. The next step, though, I'm going to get these last 2 bolts out. And then when the pan starts to come down, it's actually like pan filter assembly. I'm going to have to stick a hacksaw blade in there and cut that filter out. Atlantic British already has a video on that. So if you're going to do this job, watch their video too. Okay, now I've got all the bolts out. I'm going to show you, give me a sec, what we're talking about when we say we got to use a hacksaw. So you see, let's try and get it in the center of the frame. See that black tube that's just in the middle of the frame? That's the pickup tube for the transmission filter. So the filter is attached to the pan, and that tube goes up into the transmission, into the valving and stuff. But there's really no way to pull the transmission out between the front and rear cross member. So you've got to stick a hacksaw blade in there and saw through that plastic pickup tube. So then you can twist the pan 90 degrees and drop it out. And then that rest of the pickup tube that's up in the transmission will just come right out. And that's why we like these aftermarket kits from Atlantic British, because before you stick it all back together, the filter and pickup tube go up there first, and then you can just put the pan up there, easy peasy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut through that and get the pan out, and then we can take a look. Alright, I just got the pan out. There's a little bit of dust. I started using the hacksaw on that thing, but I decided to go for an extreme time saver because that's the original pan. It's seen a lot of heat cycles. That plastic is pretty brittle. I just kind of jerked that pan and it just broke that pickup tube right off. So then I was able to just rotate the pan 90 degrees and pull it out between the catalytic converters. So this, I mean, so far this job really, if I didn't stop to take videos and do all that, I mean, I'm less than an hour in and I'm already at the valve body. So here you can get a map online to tell you which bolts to undo. So I'm going to pull this valve body out. We've got some electronics that we have to disconnect, and then here's the solenoids. We're going to replace all those solenoids and put it back together. Okay, now I've got the valve body off of there. So aside from the solenoid kit, it comes with a map. So you just pick which valve body is yours. In my case, it's the M shift, the one in the middle. Tells you which bolts to remove to get the valve body off. And then there's a wire connector. Oh, my light just went dead. Those wires right there, it's just like on a little tube. It just twists and pops out. And there's that round orifice right there that this sleeve seats into. So once you twist the wire harness off, then this piece of plastic right here it's like this little pull tab. You have to pull it down, and that's going to release that wiring harness and that sleeve to come out of there. So that'll be step one, is pull that tab down. Then you can pull the wires out and pull that sleeve out of the transmission, and then that whole thing will just fall right down. It weighs like 15 pounds or so, so make sure you're ready to catch it. And I've also got new seals here. This is the bridge seal. These little O-rings are going to get replaced too. When that valve body is bolted up in there, it pretty well squashes that stuff flat. So if you remove it, you need some of that material proud of the surface so it'll actually seal. So we're going to go back with some new seals here. So now let's follow the rest of the instructions here to take this apart and pull those solenoids out, and we'll just replace them one by one and stick it all back together. And I went ahead and popped all these new ones in, except this last one. This green one is the old one. The kit has a blue cap as the new one, but if you read the numbers on the end, everything matches up. It tells you, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but it says 12 volts, and then it says 4.6 bar, and then there's a little number under it. I think this says 0501218959 or 969 or something like that, and the new one's matched up, so we're good to go. I'm just using a trim removal tool, and that will pop the old one right out of there. And then just opening the new one with the razor. Of course, I'm holding the camera with one hand, so now this is suddenly got real tricky. And I'm going to try not to touch those O-rings of the screen just so I don't get dust and stuff on them. And then just snap them back in place. It's actually a lot harder with one hand than using two thumbs, but that's it. So they're all on there now. I can put this retaining plate back on here. It's just got all these little screws. Will go in there. And then the electronics portion will go back under here with those various screws attaching that. The kit does tell you what screws to loosen for that bit. So we're going to reassemble this thing and get it back in the car. Now when you've got it back in the car, this is going to make it a lot easier. It's not really gear oil, this is just a bottle that I use. So I'll pour transmission fluid in here and then use this hand pump with a bit of hose to transfer fluid into the fill plug on that transmission. And for these Land Rovers, you do want to do it with the engine running. Okay, so here we are. You can see that fill plug is a 8mm hex, and you're going to notice this catalytic converter is kind of right in the way, but go ahead and do it cold first. So leave the car off and use that pump bottle to pump fluid into the transmission until it dribbles out. And then you're going to want to start the engine and leave it in park and continue to pump. You're going to get about another 2 quarts. That way everything is circulating through the transmission. If you fail to do it with the running engine, then you're going to end up shy on your fluid, and eventually the fluid's going to get too hot and you're going to start having performance issues. Now the cat will get hot, but just a regular pair of work gloves is going to keep you from getting burned as long as you don't touch it. So that hose is going to get you far enough away that you can fill the transmission without burning yourself. Then when it's running, once it starts to dribble out of there again, you're going to go ahead and put that plug in before you kill the engine, and then you're all done.